Good morning guys, how's it going? Welcome back to the channel. I'm Gav aka BEYTEK, and in this video we're going to be building the exhaust manifold for the VR6 RX7. So we'll start our day off with some tour and moo and then have a wee think about how we're actually going to fabricate this thing, because it's really not going to be easy. I've built a couple exhaust manifolds before and they are a pain in the ass to make. Yes, DIYer can do them, like I'm a DIYer myself, and you can make them. However, it takes a long time and it is quite a lot of stress. There's a lot of things to think about to do it, but I'm just going to try and go into it. Ignorance is bliss as usual, and try and glue some shit together. I would love to use the MIG welder, but for the sake of you guys, I will try and TIG weld this thing. But if there is some sticky areas, you know fine it's going to be getting the MIG. And also introducing the new turbo for the RX7 as well. This is an in-between turbo for me. If you guys remember, I have a G42-1200, I have a G45-1550, and this is bang in the middle, which is the G42-1450. Now this is a really common turbo. I'm not trying to invent nothing new or nothing like that. This is a very common turbo for the VR6 boys to use for over 1,000 horsepower. And that's the goal I've got, so I'm just going to use it. It's tried and tested, cookie cutter stuff. I don't need to do anything fancy, just stick it on, chuck a heap of boost at it, and it should make the power. I'm starting off my exhaust manifold journey by buying a fuck ton of bends. These bends are from Profusion online. I think you get like 10 bends, like it's obviously thick roll ones, 10 stainless bends for I think it was like 48 quid, so it's not too bad. I've got, I'm pretty sure these are 1.5 inch, I think these are 2 inch, and I bought a couple of these as well from my pal Paul. I've actually welded the turbo to a jack, so I can move it around and see the sort of position it wants to be in. And this is the sort of position I feel like is going to be best for what I've kind of got. So it does get a bit tricky because I will be coming off here with the downpipe, and I feel like I can go down here. I've measured it, I've got enough room to go down here, which means the exhaust manifold can come around here, and it gives me plenty of space for the collectors, which will then come around here and then into there. But the downside of it is radiator again is a little bit too close, so I'm not sure if I'll have to make another one of them, or maybe just buy a 90-degree 6-inch elbow for the intake, or what. But yeah, it's just kind of tricky finding the ideal position. I've got to think about radiators, got to think about all sorts of stuff. So but for exhaust manifold making, that's probably the best, you know, to keep the runners as long as possible to stop reversion or EGR, yet kind of fit in position. There's loads of room, it's just I've got to take everything into consideration. So I'm going to take the bonnet down, plonk the bonnet on top, make sure it still closes with the turbo there. So as we can see, turbo still sits down nice below the engine itself. You can see there's a bit of clearance between the bonnet and the top of the rocker cover, so yeah, it looks like you might get away with that. You could even come up a little bit. I'm not sure if that'll help in any way, but the option's there. I suppose it's a bit more room for if I stick the G45 on later on down the line, so I'll maybe leave it at that height. Right, so revision 1 of probably about 40. We've got the 3 coming down here. These will loop round like this, and then it'll come down here, up, and then into the far away one. This one will loop round and come up over the top of it to here. And that'll give me plenty of space down here for the downpipe, and it should flow enough out of there anyway and round the corner to make RZ power. So I think I'm just going to keep going with this until I come across a stumbling block. Just tacking it just now with a MIG because I'll probably have to break this apart, because there'll probably be a few versions, but we'll see how it goes. I might get lucky. Right, so we've got the second tube on now. It was an absolute bastard to fit that one, but it's on now. So the last one will come around here, round, and then down to this port here, and then these 3 will come probably down, round, and same sort of thing. Will come round, down, and up into there. Easier said than done. So I'm kind of thinking We'll swing it around and that'll be one kind of collector finished. Right, some more progress. We've got the next collector is here, and this one obviously comes under. This one I'll probably swoop round with like a 2-inch pipe round here. When it goes to the two larger sections, it'll come round and then into there. The actual wastegate itself, I'll just mount off the turbine housing down here. I've done that plenty before, and I'll put a wee separate end in there so I can still have it divided right to the single wastegate. And yeah, I'm starting to see how it's going to come together. Looking good. Right, this is the sort of angle we're going to go with each runner. One will go down there and under. I was just getting a bit of a look to see if this is going to fit, because I needed to watch for that steering knuckle. So everything looks like it's going to be okay. I'll need to crack off these tacks, remove this piece and do the bottom piece first. And then that'll be looking pretty good. There we go. First one in. Now we need to do this one across here and into here. Right, so after many hours, we've now got exhaust manifold all done. Now I've still to think what I'm going to do with wastegates, if I'm going to come off one here, have two separates, or if I'm going to have one off the bottom here with a slit in the middle to keep it divided. If I go for a single, I've got like a 60mm gate I can use. If not, I'll probably go for two 45s. But yeah, this thing's going to be a bastard to weld up. But for the most part, that's it kind of designed, and I can still fit a 4-inch down pipe down here, which is good. I'm going to go for a 4-inch down pipe to a cut off, which will go 3.5 inch out, and then it'll be 2.5 inch to the back of the car, with a catalytic converter and stuff to keep it all road legal. But yeah, it's looking pretty good so far. So there we have it. It's off the car now, looking all good. So I've got myself some Tigwelding stuff. This is 1.6. I usually use 2.4s, but 1.6 might be better for the lower amperage that this steel will need. Might 45, 50, maybe 55 amps to weld this up. That'll probably do it for this video anyway, because I'm happy with the progress of this so far. So I'll probably set up the welder, do some practice stuff, and go from there. But as always guys, thanks for coming along, watching the video, and we'll catch you in the next vid. Cheers.